A curriculum is a learning object that serves as a container for other learning objects. It's like a package that organizes related content and provides a structured learning experience. You create a new curriculum from the Curricula Administration page. Let's look at an existing one to see how a curriculum is created. Creating a curriculum involves a few steps. First, you provide some general information about it. Then you specify its availability, set up email notifications, determine pricing and training unit options, and finally, establish the structure of the content. Let's start with the general settings. Provide a title for your curriculum. Add optional keywords and a description to give learners a better idea of what it's about. Select the languages in which the curriculum will be available. Designate the vendor. Typically, the vendor is the team providing the curriculum, like your corporate learning team. Every curriculum needs at least one owner who is responsible for creating and maintaining it. Usually, it's someone from your learning or HR team, but you can assign this role to any active user. By default, the curriculum content is presented using the curriculum player. This feature provides learners with an engaging and user-friendly experience while helping them track their progress. If you prefer, you can disable the progress option. When applicable, designate approvals for requests and completions. Subjects are required and help learners find the curriculum when searching your catalog. Prerequisites are items that learners must complete before they can register for the curriculum. They ensure learners have the necessary knowledge and skills to move forward. If you plan to assign the curriculum rather than letting learners self-register, consider including any prerequisite learning as the first section in your curriculum structure. This way, learners will complete the prerequisites before diving into the rest of the content. It's a recommended practice, especially when using learning assignments that bypass prerequisites set in the curriculum's general settings. Now let's move on to availability, where you decide which users can search for and request the curriculum. Select all users or choose by organizational units and their subordinates. With pre-approvals, learners skip the approval process altogether when requesting the curriculum. It saves time and streamlines the whole process. Register upon approval automatically adds the curriculum to the learner's transcript as soon as it's approved, skipping the manual registration step. It's a convenient way to ensure learners get enrolled smoothly once the approval is given. When it comes to communications, you can use the predefined system defaults for emails like registration and completion. Some customers prefer to make their curricula emails more tailored and specific to their needs. To add a personal touch, use custom emails to convey important information about your learning offerings. If you plan to assign curricula or communicate about them via other methods, you may choose not to use curricula emails. If you charge learners for accessing your curriculum, you have some pricing options. With incremental pricing, you set a price based on the total cost of the individual learning items that are included in the curriculum. It's a way of calculating the overall cost by adding up the prices of the individual components. On the other hand, use curriculum price to set a specific price for the entire curriculum. Regardless of the pricing associated with the individual learning items within it, the curriculum price remains a fixed cost for the entire curriculum. For organizations that enable and use training units, learners may use these units as a form of payment. Training units act as a virtual currency, serving as an alternative to credit card payments, invoices, and other traditional payment methods. Learners can purchase the curriculum with training units based on a monetary conversion rate, or they can purchase it using a training unit price that is not related to a monetary value. Values can be priced differently by OUs. If training units should not be used for purchases, do not allow payment by this type. The structure page is where you set recurrence options and organize the learning items contained in the curriculum. Recurrence options give learners the flexibility to complete a curriculum multiple times, and each completion gets recorded on their transcripts. It's useful for situations where repetitive learning is necessary. Here's an example. Let's say the IT staff needs to go through the data security curriculum every year to stay up to date. In this case, select the Assigned option, allowing managers to reassign the curriculum to their team members and keep track of their progress over time. For self-requested learning, it's helpful to allow learners to request the curriculum more than once. This is beneficial when they need to stay current on a particular topic and want to revisit relevant curricula. By enabling multiple requests, learners can complete the curriculum again and again, and all those completions are recorded. When you assign training, or when learners request new instances of the curriculum, you can expedite approvals by using the original approval process. It means that learners and approvers don't need to go through the approval steps again. This saves time and ensures a smooth workflow for everyone involved. The structure is where you shape the learning experience. You can add training, notes, forms, and checklists directly to your curriculum or create sections to organize them. Sections are especially useful for longer curricula where separating content improves the learner experience. For example, use sections to present content by different topics, or perhaps by experience level like beginner and advanced. Create sections to suit your needs. Once a section is created, add training to each one, or use the Options menu to add subsections, notes, forms, and checklists. Modify the section name, or delete the entire section, along with its items. When adding training, select learning items from your catalog, including videos, materials, and more. Virtually any learning object in your catalog can be added to the curriculum. For learning objects where versioning applies, the latest version number displays. When adding items and sections to your curriculum, the system automatically applies a sequence. You can modify the order to shape the learner experience exactly the way you want it. Sequencing plays a crucial role in determining the order in which learners consume the content. It's all about creating a logical flow and ensuring that learners progress through the curriculum in a meaningful way. Let's take a closer look. Ordered sequencing is useful when knowledge builds upon prior learning items. In this example, items in Section 1 must be completed in the sequenced order. For section sequencing, all items in Section 1 must be completed before Section 2 is available. And Section 3 is available after completing items in both sections labeled as 2. When multiple sections share the same sequence order, items in either one can be completed first. In this example, learners can access and complete items in forklift operation before those in pallet jack operation, or vice versa. Items in both must be complete before Section 3 becomes available. Like sections, items within them that share the same sequence number can be completed in any order. In addition to the default sequencing, the system automatically designates all the items within a section as required. This means that learners are expected to complete all the items regardless of the order in which they are presented. Edit the section to adjust the number of required items within it. Now, here's a limitation to consider. If you set the number of required items to be less than the total number of items in the section, you cannot set specific sequencing for those items. This means that learners can complete them in any order they prefer. When adding items to your curriculum, continue to shape the learner experience by customizing options like payments, approvals, due dates, and more. If an item has a price, you can choose Pay Upfront to group all the items requiring payment into a single transaction. This way, learners are billed for the total price of each item with this designation. On the other hand, if you leave this option unchecked, learners are charged as they register for each individual item. For approvals, selecting Pre-Approve exempts learners from requiring additional approvals to register for the training within the curriculum. It essentially overrides the approval settings for that specific item. When both Pay Upfront and Pre-Approve are chosen, you can enable automatic registration for items. This means learners can launch them immediately without the need to activate the items separately. For certain types of learning items like online courses and tests, there's an auto-launch option. This option automatically opens these items once the previous learning item is completed, provided there is a sequenced order established. When adding multiple training items to the curriculum, save time by configuring Pay Upfront, Pre-Approve, Auto-Register, and Auto-Launch settings on the Select Training page. The system will automatically apply these settings to each of the learning objects in bulk. You can modify bulk selections individually on the Structure page if you wish. Learning items inside your curriculum can have their own due dates. Edit the item, set a relative date based on initial assignment or other criteria, or set a specific due date. Use the drag and drop handles next to items and sections to rearrange their order. The order of numbered sequences is adjusted when the curriculum is saved. Once your structure is complete, save your changes. Your curriculum displays in the Curricula Administration page. Now that you know more, start structuring employee learning experiences using curricula.